Republicans didn't say much when George W. Bush ignored the now infamous August 6th presidential daily brief while vacationing at his Crawford ranch. They didn't seem to mind when it took Mr. Bush 6 days to comment on Richard Reed's failed shoe bomb. But in our fourth story on the countdown, the GOP sure has a lot to say about President Obama's response to the Christmas Day terror attempt. And now they're trying to cash in. Congressman Pete Hoekstra, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, says the Obama administration failed to connect the dots on national security issues, making that comment before he was even briefed on the incident. Hoekstra, also running for governor of Michigan, connecting the monetary dots in a fundraising letter. They just don't get it. The system didn't work here. Far from it. It is insulting that the Obama administration would make such a claim, but then again, these are the same weak-kneed liberals who have recently tried to bring Guantanamo Bay terrorists right here to Michigan. If you agree that we need a governor who will stand up to the Obama-Pelosi efforts to weaken our security, please make a most generous contribution of $25, $50, $100, or even $250 to my campaign. Also jumping on the bandwagon, the National Republican Congressional Committee picking up the Hoekstra Gitmo detainee mem and calling for an immediate contribution via email. As Roll Call reports, Minority Leader Boehner then issued a follow-up statement linking the decision to close Gitmo to the failed terrorist attempt. But former Romney spokesman Kevin Madden offers an explanation to the GOP hypocrisy. He says the real reason why Republicans are attacking Obama on national security is because he doesn't have political capital and he's on vacation.
You also have to remember the fact is the president being on vacation in Hawaii, it's much different than being in Texas. Hawaii, to many Americans, seems like a foreign place. And I think those images, the optics, hurt President Obama very badly.
Time now to call in MSNBC political analyst Eugene Robinson. He's also the associate editor and Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist for the Washington Post. Good evening, Eugene.
Evening, David.
Did Kevin Madden get his marching orders from Orly Tates, and did he just reveal the Republican talking points for tomorrow? Obama is weak on national security because he was on vacation? Do they need a reminder that President Bush was on vacations during major crises?
President Bush was on vacation essentially all the time. So that's not exactly the branch I'd want to walk out on. And Hawaii is a foreign place. It has been a state for quite some time. It's interesting. It's as if perhaps Kevin and perhaps Dick Cheney and others have been getting their marching orders from homeless people sitting in bus shelters, just talking to no one in particular. That's kind of the way it sounds.
Fundraising off of terrorism. Why is it that when Democrats do it, it's playing politics? When Republicans do it, it's patriotic to give money to them?
When Republicans do it, it's scaring the voters, and the Republicans are very good at that. I mean, they've been practicing it for a while, and look, Democrats, Republicans, we have partisan differences. I personally think it's reprehensible to raise money on the back of a near-miss terrorist incident that could have cost 300 lives. That is a time, one would think, when you could be nonpartisan, but maybe there is no time in America these days when you could be nonpartisan.
Regarding Congressman Hoekstra, the ranking member on that Intelligence Committee, he tweeted this afternoon that Obama, quote, concedes I'm right on the failed airplane bombing. If this kind of rhetoric was coming from Democrats after 9/11, wouldn't there be calls from resignation? And why are the Democrats, how come they're not fighting back harder on this?
You know, I don't know. They may be assuming that the Republicans are going too far and that people will realize this. I think it is always dangerous to leave kind of untruths and mendacity and shamelessness unchallenged in this way. And so, if someone were to ask my advice, I'd say no. You've got to counter this stuff, and you've got to point out that this is not the way we expect an opposition party to behave at a time when national security is in question. It is outrageous to me. It really is.
Speaking of the opposition party, Newt Gingrich, the former Republican House Speaker, he's also out there speaking out against the Obama administration and their national security efforts. Is he competing with Dick Cheney as the de facto leader of the Republican Party these days?
You know, I think maybe he is. It's interesting, of course. We keep saying, well, maybe Newt's going to run for this, maybe he's going to run for that. Neither Newt Gingrich nor Dick Cheney is in office now, and they seem to be liberated to kind of say whatever is on their mind. You know, now why did Dick Cheney unleash that screed today? That would be an interesting kind of psychological question to ask.
Well, then the other great psychological analysis is of a Republican Senator, Jim DeMint of South Carolina. He says that the president has downplayed terrorism. He accused Mr. Obama of dragging his heels before nominating a TSA chief, and yet Mr. DeMint is now blocking the nominee because he's afraid that the TSA will somehow unionize as a result. Did he just reveal what's really on his mind?
Yeah, I think the clinical, the term of art there is nuts, because he's blocking the nomination that he's accusing the president of not moving with enough alacrity on. That is really delusional, crazy, nuts, insane.
Or maybe selective amnesia on DeMint's part.
It could be. It could be. You know, we put them all on the couch, and we could be busy for quite some time, David.
Well, I think we are going to be busy for quite some time along this criticism keeps up. And in any case, Eugene Robinson of MSNBC and the Washington Post, at least the criticism that's totally off the mark and crazy. Many thanks. Happy New Year. We appreciate it.
Happy New Year.